What's happening?
How's it going, man?
Good. Sorry, I'm having audio issues and I'm still having them, but give me 1 second.
Welcome back to Kickturn Party. You just heard Once in a Lifetime by Talking Heads. And here we are on Radio KCM with our very special guest, Cobbler, a writer of romantic novels, Mr. Tony Hawk.
Yeah. Yeah,
Hey, how are you?
I picked that first song for you, Tony, just because it was that title of the book you wrote a while back. And
yes.
I thought it was great. The whole "How did I get here?" was, I kind of equated that to how did we get here and why they gave us a radio show, or we have a TV show that we do as well, and why anybody watches or tunes into any of it, we don't know.
I feel that way every day. Like every day that I get to do something is like, how is this even possible? I don't understand.
Thank you, skateboarding is all I can say.
Just pure luck.
So yeah, I obviously us and just about everybody else in the skateboard world kind of follows you and what you're up to. Looks like you've been traveling a lot lately, but back home in California now.
I am. Yeah, actually, my grandchild is on the other side of this wall. I can hear him and my wife playing right now.
Awesome.
Which is somewhat the usual fare for a weekday. I just came back from the ramp, trying to relearn a couple of old tricks, and heading to New York soon to do Stephen Colbert show and announce our new video game.
Awesome.
Oh yeah.
Well, you feel extra honored.
Yeah. So I guess there's no teasers or anything on your new video game, or
it all will be revealed on March 4th.
Okay. Yeah.
They've been asking me to do interview. I did something yesterday and they're like, what about I can't like there are many other people involved with this that will be upset about it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
So what tricks were you trying to relearn?
Oh man, I'm trying to learn all my shove it rock variations.
Oh
yeah, literally, that was like the first trick. Well, one of the first tricks I ever created on my own was shove it board slide, and for whatever reason, it took me the entire session just to make one of those, and I was like, "This is the trick I learned before I was sponsored. What is going on here?"
What's the one thing in your arsenal that changed everything for you? What was it? The Ollie? What was it? I mean, going as far back as you can remember.
Yeah, well, that changed everything for me in terms of finally getting some height.
Yeah,
because that was always my big drawback or my deficit when I was competing, especially with the big kids, the older dudes. I just couldn't get any height. So like, if you look at some of my early contests, I'm just right at coping when everyone else is like 2 or 3 feet above it. And then learning how to ollie into air has changed everything for me in terms of being able to use my more of my feet to snap into the air instead of like reaching down and grabbing it without any weight behind that. Like you just can't really get any height. I would say that, and then learning how to spin. I mean, that was such a huge part of being a vert skater in the 80s. Once McGill did McTwist, it was like, you're either going this direction, or
you're not.
Yeah, you're either going this direction, or you're gonna make the finals.
Yeah.
And so learning that, and then learning like variations of that, was some of the most fun for me, because all of those things seemed impossible when we were kids. You know what I mean? Like that just didn't, backside 540 just seemed like some absurd gymnastics that we would never be able to do.
It still seems absurd.
It really does.
Yeah.
So you recently, I guess, claim you've done your last one on vert. Is that still, you gonna hold to that? You're not gonna do them anymore?
Yes. Yeah. In fact, it was so much harder than I thought it would be on my last attempt that it was like, yeah, that's probably a good sign that we should just let that one go. It was more, and honestly, it was more to give a peace of mind to my family, because every time I go skate or if I'm going to go do a demo or something, there's always this like, are you going to do a 540? Because
Sure, I'm bet demos people.
That's where I broke my leg, and that was in a lot of ways my signature at all these events. That I could just throw those in every run, and I did one after I broke my leg. I did one, and then I did another. I did one in the privacy of my ramp with no one around except my wife, because I can't get hurt in front of her. So that was like more my backup plan. And then I did another one at Vert Alert in 2023. No, 24. Yeah. And then I kind of always knew that I could still have it if I wanted it. And at some point I could tell that it causes too much worry, especially to the people I work with and to my loved ones. And so it was like, well, I want to go out on my own terms, and I want to go out with the one that I created first. Like McGill did the McTwist where he grabs Weddle like Tuckney. Indy 540 was my first variation of that. So I made sure I went out like with my own version of it. And I don't know why it was so hard. Like my body just, I just can't bundle up like I used to. I mean, I get it. I'm super old, but it wasn't that hard like just a few years ago.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, I can relate. The worst enemy to a vert skater is age. And I just tore my ACL first of the year, so I'm down for as long as I need to get back on it. But yeah, it's my big problem nowadays is just reaching around my pads, trying to get around.
Yeah. No, I mean, well, after I broke my leg, there was an obvious issue with certain grabs, and I've just had to let them go. Like I can't grab melon anymore. I mean, it would take me an hour just to reach it, and that is purely a function of my physiology now. So that sucks. I missed that one.
Well, you still flap inverts better. You still flap your inverts better than almost anybody out there.
Oh well, thank you. Yeah, and that's another thing.
Like get mine upside down.
I can't take Tuckney for granted anymore either. Like I got to really focus on the way up, and that's a hard pill to swallow for me, because that was always like I had those. I had them for 40 years.
Yeah, I can much relate to that. The whole old factor is,
But I mean, the cool thing about doing any kind of hand plant at this point is just like the new generation just doesn't connect with it or understand it. And I think they appreciate it, because I'm skating with, by all accounts, like the X Games superstars on my ramp every day, including Jimmy Wilkins just an hour ago. And hand plants are just like a complete mystery to them. And I think it's hilarious
well, that's what I love. Like AJ Nelson has been riding the ramp a little bit lately.
Yeah.
And he usually comes out to a big contest in Tennessee that we sponsor and go to every year called Rage the Rose. And he had like his eggplants. The first time I saw him do an eggplant, I was like, how does that guy even be able to bend like that?
Yeah.
It was very rad.
I mean, there are a few anomalies that choose to focus in on it. Him, also like Winkowski, and they're carrying the torch for our generation.
Yeah,
it's
hand turns are definitely a fading art, but still a great art.
I think they're coming back though. I really do. I think more people's going to start doing inverts.
Well, now everybody's like.
I mean, I honestly used to joke when I would do demos in the like 2010s. I used to, people would be like, how's it going? I'm like, oh, I still got inverts, 540s and 360 varials, so I can still do demos.
Well, I kind of want to hear you were talking about the McTwist, but I want to hear the McHawk story.
Oh yeah,
that's kind of
how we. So Tony, I dug this up.
Wow.
It's not the original hat, but it's pretty close to the Coors Light Silver Bullet hat that I was wearing in that goofy ass interview, and which was 40 years ago this year. 39 years ago. Yeah, that was
how'd that come across?
Wait, that was you in the parking lot or in that Oh, that's so cool.
Unfair. Yeah, the DIY spot.
That's right. Yeah.
That was me. At the time, I was 11 years old.
How to come across? I mean, anything that comes out of the archives like that, I get tagged in it endlessly, and I appreciate it. I mean, I'm thankful to be a beacon like that, and hopefully I can share those kind of artifacts with the world. But that was just so cool. I mean, it was like, it was such a perfect glimpse of what skating was like, not in the, in the central hub of it where we were in terms of, and that could sound pompous, but we were right there in Southern California where all the industry was, and it was Thrasher and Transworld, and then there were a few pockets like that on the East Coast, but where you guys were was not really well documented.
Yeah.
And so you guys had to create your own scene. And I just thought it was amazing.
We had just had the Madrid team come through and do a demo in town. And that was right when we were first building that unfair spot at the old 1982 World's Fair site that was abandoned. And Bryce came back through and it kind of flipped him out. He was like, how are you guys getting away with that? And we were like, we don't know how we're getting away with this. I mean, granted, I was just a punk kid that got to hang out with the older guys. But that whole scene was really funny.
It's I like that old Dogtown documentary where some of the European skaters were talking about seeing the Dogtown kids doing tricks that they weren't really making. They were just, you were just capturing a shot of somebody up in the air. And so they learned how to make it. And that's kind of what we did. We just carved our own way. I grew up in a trailer in Elizabethton, Tennessee, and my parents recognized that I was really interested in skateboarding. And I still don't know how they afforded it, but they built me a half pipe that I think was bigger than our trailer. But it was fantastic to have.
Yeah, man. When I was
and like I said, you didn't see any local scenes documented like that, or news just didn't care. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't on their radar. It was they thought of it negatively, so they weren't going to give you the time of day or any sort of fair coverage. So I thought it was really cool that we have this this moment in time that shows like what skateboarding was like in a smaller town, but just as passionate as everyone else.
Yeah. Well, when that interview happened, I got heckled by the older guys for years because the guy asked me, why do you skate? Like, why do you do it? And the question made no sense to me. Like, I didn't understand why he was asking me why I rode a skateboard. And so I was like, for the glory of skating, and fly through there. So we ended up making t-shirts out of that for a while. And it
for the glory of skating.
Yeah, for the glory, exactly. Which actually,
it's a great answer.
Yeah. Like, I didn't understand the question. That was the only thing I could come up with. 11-year-old me was like, I don't know.
Yeah, and we owe you a big thank you.
You could have done a lot worse.
I know you meet a gazillion people. All the time, but you did throw in for our skate park here in Knoxville. Yep. We appreciate that.
And then came and skated with us.
Yeah. Came and skated. But that's how I met these guys, because my kids started skating and I recognized the need for a skate park. We started working. We got money from the city, money from the county, some private donations, and then your foundation stepped in. So
we got the maximum allotment at the time, which actually pretty much helped pay for our vert pool, because we were kind of coming up short, and we were doing guerrilla efforts, selling t-shirts, whatever we could do to raise an extra $1, and that pretty much solidified. Like, Wally Holiday did the design, and originally it was like, you don't have the money. And then he was like, you know what, we're going to do it. We're going to get the vert pool. So, and all the old guys, that's all we really cared
about. Well, let's say I'm always advocating for it, but it's usually not in the main budget.
Yeah.
So I'm thankful that I had any influence on that.
Yeah. And I still think to this day, I think that was the biggest demo we've ever had there, as far as just people that showed up to watch. And
what year was that?
It was 2010.
2007. No, 2007.
No, it was September of 2010.
Yeah. Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, it was 2007 when we started
Yeah.
all the organizing.
But yeah, you because it was when you were on that Quicksilver tour where you did the secret skate park thing, and like it wouldn't be announced until either the day of or maybe the day before. Of course, the city here knew, so we were in the know because we were linked up with the city. But the fact that the information dropped to the public and that many people showed up that day,
yeah, and I mean that was kind of before social media too. So
yeah.
It would have to be honest, that's kind of why we can't do that format anymore, because we don't even have to tell anyone we're showing up anywhere. It just immediately it's all over the place once you arrive somewhere. So but it's fun. I mean, I love that. It's amazing that there's so much excitement and interest in skating when in our generation you're going to show up somewhere and no one's going to care. Right. And no one else is going to even know about it.
Yep.
We had a friend show up to that demo, Colonel Bacchus.
Oh yeah.
And he had frozen a skateboard and he brought you a block of ice to sign.
Do you remember autographing the ice board and it ruining your
I don't remember that.
He pulls
Wait,
out
so he made a skateboard out of ice.
Yeah, well,
no,
so
he froze a skateboard in ice.
He took trucks and wheels and froze them into a block of ice for like a month in his freezer. And so it was a block of ice with trucks and wheels on it.
I thought it had a board in it.
No, and then he brought it in a cooler.
Yes, I do remember that. Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
So we've got some grainy video of you signing. Just I remember the look on your face. Who is this guy? And why is he have an ice board? But we just wrapped up doing a documentary on the Knoxville skate scene that Mike Hathcote, who you may or may not know who that dude is out of Phoenix, that does SkaterCon. So he's an old Knoxville local and used to run a skate park here, a private park. And so he just did a documentary where we were all got involved and did a bunch of interviews for it. But that whole iceboard segment is 2 minutes of the documentary. And the look on your face ruining your Sharpie. It was great. Well, you guys want to cut to some music?
Yeah, we're going to cut to some music. We want to say you're listening to Radio KCM, which is community radio for the community and by the community. And you can get involved and have your own show here. It's facilitated by Knoxville Community Media. This is Kickturn Party with our special guest, Tony Hawk. Thanks for listening.
I'll be back in a minute.
Kickturn Party tonight! Kickturn Party tonight!